organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, the First Lady is visiting the Hawkeye State on Thursday. Find out what her visit is all about.
And later, I'll give you the history of why February is such an important month.
Also coming up tonight, I'm Ian Martin at the Iowa football offices. Hear from Kirk Ferentz's mouth why he chose Phil Parker as the new defensive coordinator.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
From Studio 151, your television news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan, this is Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks for tuning in to your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Allie Wright. Iowa wants to be the healthiest state in the nation by 2016, and Michelle Obama is pitching in to help make it happen. Thousands of children, as well as a few athletes, are expected to attend the First Lady's Let's Move event in Des Moines tomorrow. The Iowa initiative is designed to help Iowans improve their health while reducing healthcare costs associated with rising obesity rates. Obama is expected to be joined Thursday by Governor Branstad, Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson, and figure skater Michelle Kwan, among others.
The UI is one step closer to flood recovery following release of potential building designs for a handful of campus buildings this week. Details about reconstruction on Hancher, the Voxman Building, Clapp Recital Hall, the Art Building, and the IMU were all released this week. The State Board of Regents approved the design concepts during a meeting Tuesday, and the plans were unveiled to the public at a PAC forum held at Art Building West Tuesday night. Those buildings were destroyed during the 2008 flood. Officials say they hope the reconstruction will be complete by December 2016.
February, the month of Valentine's and an occasional leap day, is also a month of celebrating African American accomplishments, Black History Month. Daily Iowan TV's Christina Targos has more.
It all began with historian Carter G. Woodson and minister Jesse E. Moreland when they founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, now the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. The organization was dedicated to researching and promoting accomplishments made by African Americans. In 1926, the group held a National Negro History Week, which inspired communities nationwide to celebrate those important people. February was the chosen month because it coincided with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. It was not until 1976 that President Gerald R. Ford officially recognized Black History Month. He called on the public to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Here at the University of Iowa, African Americans have been enrolled going as far back as the 1870s, but their enrollment was very low until the 1960s. According to a fall 2011 report, African Americans only make up 2.7% of the 11.9% minority enrollment on campus. But despite the low enrollment rate, there are many programs here to learn about African American history.
There are a couple of African American classes that people should be aware of. Professor Horace Porter's is teaching a course on the Civil Rights Movement.
Christina Targos, Daily Iowan TV.
Since 1976, every Black History Month has had a theme. This year, it pays tribute to Black women that have shaped U.S. history.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, infused alcoholic drinks are currently illegal in Iowa. Let's see what is being done to change this law.
Plus in sports, we'll take a look at what Coach Bluter said at Wednesday's press conference about losing her leading scorer as the Hawks prepare to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in Carver Hawkeye Arena on Thursday night.
But first, let's check in with Stephanie Cardenas to get a look at your weather forecast. And Stephanie, it's been pretty good over the past week. Any chance of reprise from these chilly temps in the next few days?
Well, Brad, Thursday we'll see conditions pretty similar to what we saw Wednesday, but expect a bit of a cold front to move in as we get to the weekend. Thursday morning we'll see a cool of 19 degrees and partially cloudy skies. By midday, it'll warm up to around 36 degrees, but expect windy gusts and cloudy skies, making it feel more like 28 degrees. Then Thursday night, it will get back down to 29 degrees with a slight chance of precipitation. Fortunately, those wind gusts should die down by this time. Looking ahead, expect temps in the mid to low 20s as we get to Friday and Saturday. Temps will begin warming up slightly as we make our way into next week. And there's a slight chance of precipitation beginning Monday and carrying through Wednesday. So that's what you can expect for the next few days. Back to you at the desk.
Mixing a drink at a bar might seem simple enough, but Some of these concoctions might be illegal under state law. Daily Iowan TV's Stephanie Cardenas has more on the story.
The law that prohibits the sale of infused drinks for bar and restaurant owners by state alcohol regulators in Iowa is made to prevent the consumption of contaminated alcoholic beverages. So what exactly are infused drinks? Let's pretend this container of water is vodka. I add lemons to it. Let it sit for more than 2 weeks. Here I've created an infused drink. Some restaurant owners say that infused drinks can make a difference for their business.
Just because it'll give us something new and unique to offer. Make it a little bit different than just the same old place.
So, are there any risks by consuming these beverages? I ask a nutritionist.
I guess being an infused drink, it sets with fruits or herbs or spices or whatnot over a period of a few days, up to a week, I think. But anyways, those particles from those fruits and things can actually still remain in that alcohol after it's strained. So that could pose a potential health risk.
Despite these risks, states like California have lifted the ban on selling of infused drinks. Here, owner of Devolte Restaurant has started a campaign Raise the Bar.
We've got an online petition and a Facebook page and that sort of thing. And one of the things that this has resulted in is actual legislation. There's now a bill in the state legislature, SF 2089, that is that if passed will change it and make it possible for bars and restaurants to do their own infusions.
So whether Iowa City residents will be able to get their hands on an infused drink, only time will tell. Stephanie Cardenas, Daily Iowan TV.
There will be a subcommittee meeting next week to discuss more on the legislation.
Well, it's easy to forget those cold winter nights when you're warm and cozy in the comfort of your home. But what about those who don't have homes? During this time of year, it seems some homeless citizens have been going to extreme measures to find a warm place to sleep. Daily Iowan TV's Nick Rector has a story.
I'm here outside the Johnson County Jail, a place where some Iowa City homeless have been trying to get into so they can avoid the cold Iowa City nights. Now, it's said that some homeless people around the area have been committing small crimes so they can stay in the jail and have a warm meal and a warm place to sleep. A popular hangout for the Iowa City homeless is the downtown area, but with the cold weather, you don't see them hanging around the Ped Mall all too much this time of the year. So where do they go? Some homeless citizens set up shop in the woods, under bridges, or even go to the local homeless shelter. But if they want to stay there, they need to follow rules like saving money, getting a job, and remaining sober, something many homeless people do not follow through on.
That kind of disregard does lead to eviction. We don't enjoy that part of this work, but it's necessary because we have limited resources and we have to demonstrate that we're good stewards of those resources, and this is, part of those guidelines and rules. That's where they're coming from.
The Shelter House Iowa can hold a maximum of 70 people, and they're only allowed to stay 90 days the most. They help out the homeless community the best they can, but they can only do so much. Regardless, there still remain some homeless citizens who have no desire to better their lives. As a result, some homeless have been arrested for committing small crimes so they can stay the night in jail. This may seem extreme to many, but it's hard to put ourselves in their position.
Well, there are quite a number of people in our community. They're not interested in working in a program. They're not interested in living in a communal living environment.
You can see that Iowa City does offer help to its homeless citizens, but it's their choice if they want to better their lives or go to jail so they can be warm for a night or two. Nick Rector, Daily Iowan TV.
The Iowa City Police and the University of Iowa Police encourage people to report any suspicious activity.
A man armed with a shotgun stormed into the lobby of a New York courthouse Wednesday morning before being shot by a security officer. The gunman was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. One officer was slightly hurt from the incident, and authorities say everyone in the courthouse was accounted for.
And the FBI is investigating whether or not an incident that happened over the weekend in Atlanta is a hate crime. 20-year-old Brandon White was attacked by multiple people outside of a grocery store. The attackers yelled anti-gay slurs as they attacked White. Police first learned about the incident when it went viral on the internet. White spoke with the media Wednesday about his attack.
I felt that if I can walk to the store, if a straight person can walk to the store and not have a problem, I should be able to do the same thing. I shouldn't have to worry about whether or not I should have to look over my shoulder, or is this person going to attack me, or if that person is going to attack me for just being a gay male.
And arcades are popular hangouts for children and teenagers, but senior citizens in Japan are proving that video games aren't just for kids. One elderly gamer cites it as a way to combat dementia, but many play just because they find it entertaining. Since elderly people outnumber children 2-to-1 in Japan, video game manufacturers and arcade owners see this as an opportunity to market to a different audience that will only continue to grow.
And even though the 2012 Hawkeye football season is still over 6 months away, I'm counting down the days. Let's go to Lauren Moss for your Hawkeye Sports update.
All right, thanks guys. Now Kirk Ferentz was mum on most topics when he met with reporters Wednesdays, but he did take a few minutes to talk about Phil Parker, the Hawks' new defensive coordinator. Daily Iowan TV sports director Ian Martin was at today's press conference.
I'm Ian Martin at the Iowa football offices. Kirk Ferentz spoke to the media today for the first time since Phil Parker was hired as the defensive coordinator and Ken O'Keefe left as the offensive coordinator. The coach said, though, that he does not believe the vacancy in the offensive spot will hurt the team next season.
That's part of college football, and I think every year you start new, and it's a new challenge certainly. And you know, if the staff factors into it, which this year it does, you know, more so than in years past for us, you know, it's a little varied degree of challenge for us. You know. Yeah, that's part of coaching, and you know, so our timetable moving forward, there really isn't a firm one. Again, we're just committed to getting the right person, and that's going to be a tough seat to fill, just like Norm's. You know, we've been really fortunate, and you know, so obviously I think we all want to just make sure that we get the right person there to help move us forward. You know, with Phil, I wasn't looking for a carbon copy of Norm. You know, I don't think that was the criteria, and certainly it's the same way with Ken's seat too. You know, but there are traits that we were looking for. You know, not necessarily schematic things, but traits. You know, and I think that's probably the most important thing. You know, I was open to anything. You know, defensively, that wasn't, and same thing offensively. I think there's certain things that we're gonna try to hang our hat on, but you know, we're open to getting the best person.
One final football note, the annual spring scrimmage was set today for April 14th. Now, despite last Thursday's big win over Wisconsin for the women's basketball team, they didn't have much to celebrate after Jamie Printy tore her ACL. The junior guard will be out for the remainder of this year's season, and now the team is focused on filling her shoes.
It wasn't a celebratory bus in one bit. You know, here we have a really good win over a good Wisconsin team on the road, and not one person was excited about that victory.
It was definitely like they said, I've heard very many, you know, people call it a bittersweet one. To get your first, you know, Big Ten road win is huge, but, you know, I think many of us were not really even concerned with the win at that point. I think everyone has to step up a little bit. Not one person's going to replace it. Having a Jamie Printy on your team.
It changes a lot of the things we do, especially offensively. We're to look at some different scoring threats. Obviously Dixon's starting, but she's doing a fabulous job. We just have to really focus on, you know, Jamie's going to be there to support us and focus on us and trying to learn how to score without her.
This week is really important for us. If we want to make a move into the Big Ten standings, the top part of the Big Ten standings, home games are very important, and we have 5 games remaining. 3 of them are at home, so you know, we think we can shake up the standings a little bit through this week.
Freshman guard Melissa Dixon has been selected to fill Jamie's starting guard position. The team plays their next 2 games at home, Thursday against Minnesota and Sunday against Michigan State. That's your Hawkeye Sports update for tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren, and before we leave you tonight, take a look at this. A kangaroo may be one of the last things you would expect to find up in a tree, but these endangered tree kangaroos would rather hang out up there. Tree kangaroos prefer dense tropical rainforests, making them difficult to spot, and very few are known to live in the wild. Despite their relatively small size, these little guys can jump nearly 30 feet when bouncing from branch to branch.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about the university's concerns with Hawk Alert.
Plus, how the Hawkeye diving team coped without their coach for 11 days.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching and have a great night.